Literally watching your muscle contract. And it hurts. Because it hasn't been doing it. It had shut down. I didn't know that. Okay? And so, a lot of times, after surgery, this is what you see happening. Went to the women's show a couple weeks ago. And my friend who went with me, you know, you get in there and you're looking all around, and she kind of sees this booth set up, and she beelines back to that booth. And I'm like, huh? She's like, I got to see this. I got to see what's going on. They're selling these units. Okay? I'm sure y'all seen them on TV. Like, for example, the ones that you can put on your back and turn them up, you know. Oh, it helps get rid of the back pain, blah, 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 blah. The TENS unit. Okay, well, the one that they put on you after surgery is stronger. It's an NMJ machine. Okay? Now, let me think about this for a second. All right? Yeah, let's buy something that I'm going to automatically, you know, take these little electrodes and place them on my body, me with not the medical experience to know exactly where I'm supposed to place them, okay, and turn them on. So I'm over there, you know, at that little booth with her, and then I'll, you know, these people trying to sell these little things and everything. And I'm going, now what makes you the, you know, specialist in the placement of these things? Because what they want to do, they want to put that thing on me. Okay? And they were like, you know, well, where, oh, come here, you need to put this on your shoulder. I said, you're not getting anywhere near me. I said, because number one, I don't, you know, you're just here trying to sell a product, so technically you're just a salesman, all right? You could be wearing scrubs, but I don't believe that you're in physical therapy. If you're doing physical therapy, you could be doing physical therapy. Not here at a women's show selling a product. And, you know, my friend lets them, you know, put it on her, and I'm just like, okay. And then the rest of the day, she's not holding on to it. Doctors are usually the ones that can do that. Physical therapy, chiropractors, let's see, the people who are like orthopedics and stuff like that, okay? Because they'll know exactly where to put that. And what it's doing is it simply takes the muscle and it warms it up. Makes the muscle contract. As that muscle is contracting, it's moving materials in and out, and it's increasing blood flow. What would be the importance? I'm getting nutrients, I'm getting oxygen, I'm getting blood flow. Anything else could be going on? Getting rid of more waste that's in the muscle cells. So can you kind of see the importance of taking a muscle, warming it up slowly, which is what was represented with the trepi? Okay? So, in the contraction, like I said, when you are giving an impulse, impulses to do something, they can come in as something that will be not strong, but strong enough to be threshold and allow you to do something. Writing the notes across the page. Other than it being painful in certain ways, okay, is it physically painful? We know it's painful just having to do it, you know, but is it technically physically painful? No. But you're sending an impulse to the muscles that need to do that. Those muscles are reacting. They're not going into tetanus, okay? They're not. So, if you are roughly at this activity right here, what do you notice happening in between each impulse for that muscle cell? It gets to go back to relax a little bit. But let's say that, I don't know, I'm one of these professors who can write with their left hand while erasing with the right, or write with the right and erase with their left, and you need it to be like this. Okay? You had to be like that. I had a professor like that. Been there, done that. Okay? Would I go into a little bit of pain? Yeah. Alright? So, what would be happening here and here? I don't get to have any relaxation. My muscles are not getting to recover. Impulses are quick. Contractions are strong. Alright? And I'm not getting recovery. So,
so we're crampy,
complete. So yeah, that was my next point. After having to keep those notes like that, chances are what's going to happen somewhere through here. Okay? That's complete tetanus. So you're seeing that there is a constant contraction. The contraction is strong. There's no relaxation, and this would be tetanus.
That's a question. So, if this kind of hurts whenever you have the muscles back, so like when you're falling asleep, you can't use the muscles. Does that have anything to do with that at all?
That's where something, the position that you've had your foot in, or pressure that's been on it, has cut off the blood flow. And you have to let the blood return. And that's why it's so painful. Because you've denied the tissues the blood supply, and tissues fight back against that. And as they come back to life, so to speak, it's actually painful. So, incomplete tetanus. Contractions are still stronger, coming quickly. You might get to have a slight recovery, but if you don't get to have any recovery with no relaxation, that's going to be tetanus. When these impulses are moving in this type of direction, they're said to be waves, okay, because they kind of look like, waves of an ocean, okay? So, you kind of notice they definitely increase in number, so therefore, we increase in number and begin to add them together. Multiple waves add together or summate, and therefore contractions will get stronger. Make sense? So, when we begin to look at contractions that occur in the body, well, muscle length versus tension. Well, believe it or not, muscle can contract without affecting the length. Okay? Now, when tension, the force, the movement, the activity, okay? When something is applied to an object to be lifted, a muscle is going to contract. Alright? Now, that was active. because I took this, I picked it up, and I lifted it. Okay? I had to make my muscle contract. I had to have the cross bridging occur. You guys remember that, where the myosin head attached to the actin? Okay? And I have contraction that occurs. But wait a minute. What have I been doing ever since I picked it up? I've just been keeping it in one spot. Have my muscles had to do anything? They had to stay contracted. So I got passive tension that's taken place, and this little stapler that was relatively light when I picked it up, what is happening to it the more I hold my arm in this one position, keeping it suspended in air? The heavier it's getting, to the point that probably when I set it down, I won't feel it in my muscles. Because even though they did not change in their length, I still needed them to contract. Okay? We usually say, and this is a term that comes about in stuff like physical therapy and so forth, the total tension is whatever is active plus passive. And they will have numbers that they'll be able to use and apply to the areas of the body that they're working on. When we look at a muscle, because it has the ability to contract, and we have that overlap of the actin and the myosin that does this number to create contraction, what do you think would create the optimal contraction? If at that midline where I've got that muscle contracted, or if I'm kind of a little bit away with my thin filaments around the thick, and then they can kind of do this way, or would it be something like this? What's going to be optimal for skeletal muscle, for muscle with contraction? Do these ends need to be overlapped to get optimal contraction? Or would it be better if they weren't so overlapped and the muscle could contract a little bit more? Maybe not be as painful. Which of those two?
Like barely touching the tips.
We want, okay, for optimal contraction, and this is what sports players know, okay, for the most part, all right? They know that the further they stretch that muscle, that sarcomere, okay, those little filaments, the further they are away from each other, the more optimal their muscles can contract. So, if we think about that, this would be a reason that it's so important to warm up. Now, think about that.
Why is this like attack connected, or he's touching a little bit? How do they come together and make it contract?
All right, if we think about the structure of that thick filament, the myosin, the thin, which is the actin, sarcomere, sarcomere. At this point right here, see how they're really close together for those thin filaments, okay? And if the muscle needs to shorten, because that's what contraction does it have very far that it can go? No. So movement from it's going to be very minimal. But right here, if I have this room in between, okay, and